The storm had no mercy that night. The sky burned with flashes of white lightning, and thunder rolled across the mountains like the roar of a giant beast. Below, the great alien river twisted and crashed, its dark waters glowing faintly with strange blue light. Lyra lay near the edge of the cliff, her silver skin wet from the rain, her eyes half open but full of fear. Her body refused to move. Her legs felt like stone, her hands weak as air. She had been paralyzed for months after the last battle, a battle that had stolen not only her strength but her honor. Behind her, voices shouted in the alien tongue of the Vathrians. They were her family, her blood, yet tonight they had become her enemies. She is cursed. One cried, "She brings shame to the house of Vathra." Another shouted, "She cannot walk, cannot fight. The council wants her gone." Lyra tried to speak, but her voice broke under the weight of rain and fear. Her mother's figure stood above her, face hidden under the hood of a long silver cloak. Lightning flashed, and for a moment Lyra saw tears in her mother's eyes. But those tears carried no mercy. "I am sorry, my child," her mother said softly. "You were born under a star of power, but that power has become a danger to us all." Lyra's heart pounded. "Mother, please," she whispered weakly. "Don't let them do this." But her words vanished in the wind. Two guards stepped forward and lifted her. She tried to fight, but her body would not obey. Her legs hung lifeless as they dragged her toward the edge of the cliff. Below, the river roared like a living monster waiting to devour her. Lightning struck again, so close that the air itself screamed. One of the guards looked away. "She is still your daughter," he said softly. "She was," her mother answered coldly. "Now she is only a risk." And with that she turned her face away. The guards released their hold. Lyra fell. For a moment, there was silence, only the sound of wind rushing past her ears as her body tumbled through the rain. She saw the silver glow of her world's moons blur together. The river's light grew brighter, closer, faster. Then an impact. The water swallowed her whole. Cold. So cold it felt like 1,000 knives stabbing her skin. Her lungs screamed for air, but her body could not move. The current dragged her deeper, pulling her down into the endless dark. Her silver hair floated around her face like threads of light. Her eyes slowly closed. "Is this how it ends?" she thought. Her memories came. Her first battle, her laughter with her sister, her dreams of peace, and the moment everything was taken away. She remembered the blast that had paralyzed her, the forbidden weapon that had cursed her body forever. And now her family had finished what that weapon started. Her vision blurred. The glowing water turned darker. Her heartbeat slowed. And then, a new light appeared. Far above, a beam of white light cut through the river, slicing across the dark like a sword. A figure was diving down straight toward her, a human. Inside a thick diving suit with a helmet shining bright, he swam hard against the current. His name was Captain Ryan Cole, a human explorer who had crashed on this alien world only hours ago. He had come from the stars looking for survivors of his fallen crew. His scanners had picked up something strange, a life form sinking fast beneath the river. He had no idea it was an alien. No idea it was someone the universe had already given up on. But when he saw her falling deeper into the dark, he didn't think. He just dove. Ryan's suit beeped warnings. Oxygen dropping, pressure rising, but he ignored them. He reached out, pushing through the wild current, his gloves cutting through the glowing mist. And then he saw her, a woman of silver skin and glowing veins, drifting like a ghost through the dark. Her eyes were half open, her hair waving softly around her face. She looked peaceful, like she was already gone. "Hang on," he shouted, though she could not hear him. He reached her, grabbed her hand, and in that instant something exploded inside his suit. A shock of blue energy burst through his helmet lights, crawling across his arms like lightning veins. His entire body trembled as the strange power spread through him. For a second, his vision filled with strange images, tall crystal towers, silver ships, and a sky of 3 suns. Then, silence. Ryan gasped, shaking his head, trying to focus. The alien woman's hand still glowed in his grip. "Stay with me," he muttered, tightening his hold. He kicked hard toward the surface, the current fighting him with every stroke. His oxygen was almost gone. The river crashed above him like a wall of fire and thunder. Finally, with one last push, he broke through. He dragged her onto the rocky shore beside his broken escape pod. Rain poured down like knives. Ryan pulled off his helmet, panting hard, and looked at her still face. "Come on," he whispered. "Don't die on me now." Lightning flashed again, and for a brief moment, her eyes opened. Blue light glowed from her pupils, faint but alive. Ryan froze, then a voice, not spoken, but echoing inside his head, and whispered, "Why did you save me?" Ryan looked down at her, water dripping from his hair, his heart pounding. He had no answer. But deep inside, he knew this was the moment everything changed. The night the universe decided to cross the line between human and alien, between mercy and destiny, and the storm was only beginning. The rain had slowed to a soft drizzle by the time dawn touched the alien sky. The clouds hung low, painted with pale green light from the twin moons that still floated above the mountains. The forest near the river was silent, too silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Captain Ryan Cole sat beside the wreck of his escape pod, his uniform torn, his hands shaking from exhaustion. Beside him, wrapped in a silver survival blanket, lay the alien woman he had pulled from the river. Her skin shimmered faintly like moonlight trapped under glass. Her chest rose and fell, but only slightly. Ryan stared at her, trying to understand what he was seeing. He had been a soldier and an explorer, trained to face the unknown, but nothing had prepared him for this. "What are you?" he whispered, his voice low and tired. Her body was cold to the touch, but not lifeless. Strange blue veins glowed softly under her skin, pulsing like weak lightning. He had checked her several times. No wounds, no breathing injury, but she didn't wake. It was as if she was caught between life and death. Ryan sighed and looked at the cracked screen on his wrist communicator. The signal was dead. His ship had gone down 3 days ago, and the rescue beacon was useless in this storm. He was alone on an alien planet, with a woman who shouldn't be alive. He turned away for a moment to gather firewood. When he returned, something had changed. The air around her shimmered. The blue glow in her veins grew brighter, crawling up her neck and into her face. A soft hum filled the air, a sound like distant singing mixed with electricity. Then her eyes opened. Ryan froze. Her pupils glowed a deep shade of blue, almost liquid. For a few seconds, she just stared at the sky as if remembering something far away. Then, without moving her lips, a voice spoke, not aloud but inside Ryan's mind. "Who are you?" Ryan stumbled backward, dropping the firewood. "What the—" The voice came again, calm and soft, but filled with confusion. "You pulled me from the river, why?" Ryan looked at her, his mouth dry. "You were drowning. I couldn't just leave you." Her eyes slowly turned toward him. "You are human," she said through thought, her words echoing faintly inside his skull. "You should not be here. This world does not welcome your kind." Ryan took a deep breath. "Yeah, I noticed. My ship crashed. I'm just trying to survive." For a moment there was silence, only the sound of the rain hitting the metal of the escape pod. Then her voice softened. "I am Lyra, of the House of Vathra." He crouched beside her. "Lyra, you're safe now. You're injured, but I can help." "No," she whispered into his mind. "I am not safe. None of us are. They will come for me." "Who?" "My own blood." Her body trembled, and Ryan saw flashes, visions that didn't belong to him. Cities made of crystal towers, soldiers in shining armor, a throne carved from living light. And a girl, Lyra, standing tall, proud, before she fell into darkness. Ryan gasped and stepped back, pressing his hand to his head. "What was that?" "My memories," she said weakly. "You touched me in the river. Our minds connected." Ryan's eyes widened. "That energy, that shock. It was you," she nodded faintly. "My body is broken, but my mind still holds power. Power that they fear." The wind picked up again, carrying the distant sound of engines. A low hum rolled across the sky. Ryan looked up. Glowing lights were moving through the clouds, scanning the land below. Lyra's expression turned to panic. "They've found me." "Who are they?" Ryan asked quickly. "Hunters," she replied. "My family's soldiers. They will not rest until I am dead. They believe my life is a curse to their bloodline." Ryan clenched his fists. "Then we need to move." "I cannot walk," she said, her voice trembling. "My legs were taken from me in battle." Ryan looked around, thinking fast. He grabbed a piece of broken paneling from the escape pod and fashioned a makeshift sled. Gently, he lifted her onto it, wrapping her tighter in the silver blanket. She watched him with quiet disbelief. "Why help me, human? You owe me nothing," he met her glowing eyes. "Because someone should have helped you before you were thrown away." For the first time, her face softened. Something in his words reached her, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Then the sound came again, louder this time. The sky lit up with red beams scanning the forest. Ryan pulled the sled into the shadows of the trees, his boots sinking into the mud. Lyra closed her eyes, focusing. Her veins glowed brighter, and a shimmering field of light flickered around them, bending the air. The red beams passed over and didn't see them. Ryan stared in awe. "You can cloak us?" "Not for long," she whispered. "My strength fades. You must run, Ryan Cole." He tightened his grip on the sled rope. "Then hold on, Lyra of Vathra. We're not dying today." Lightning split the sky once more as Ryan dragged her deeper into the alien forest. Behind them, the sound of engines grew louder, hunters closing in. But ahead, through the fog and shadows, a faint blue light glowed from the mountainside. Lyra opened her eyes again and whispered, "That is where my secret sleeps." Ryan didn't understand, but he knew one thing. This was only the beginning, and somewhere far above, in the clouds, something ancient had started to wake. The alien forest never slept. The trees were black and tall, their roots glowing faintly blue, feeding on the energy of the planet itself. Mist drifted low over the ground, carrying whispers, soft, strange, almost alive. Ryan Cole pushed forward through the thick fog, dragging the small sled behind him. Lyra lay motionless upon it, her silver skin dim under the faint moonlight. The storm had ended, but the danger had not. Every few minutes, a distant sound echoed through the forest, the deep hum of alien engines searching the skies. The hunters were close. Lyra's eyes flickered open. "You cannot run forever," she whispered into Ryan's mind. "I can try," he muttered, pulling harder. "Until I figure out a plan." She tilted her head slightly. "Humans always believe they can fight the impossible." He gave a small, tired smile. "Maybe that's why we survive." The forest suddenly shifted. A low vibration rolled through the ground, shaking the trees. Ryan froze. His instincts screamed that something was wrong. "Stay quiet," he whispered. He crouched beside Lyra, scanning the fog. A red light flashed between the trees, and a search drone. It moved slowly, scanning with a long beam of crimson energy, humming like a deadly insect. Ryan held his breath. Lyra's veins glowed faintly again, responding to the danger. "Don't," he said quickly. "It'll see us." She stopped glowing. The light faded, but her breathing quickened. The drone passed within a few meters, pausing for a moment as if it sensed their presence. Then, just as suddenly, it flew away. Ryan exhaled. "That was too close." Lyra's voice came softly. "They are scouts. The real hunters will follow soon. I family sent them." Ryan turned toward her, his expression hard. "Why would your family do this to you?" "You said they were royal." She looked away. "Royalty does not mean mercy. The House of Vathra rules by blood and fear. I was once their warrior, but I touched the forbidden weapon. It cursed my body and mind. They believe I am a danger to their throne." Ryan frowned. "What weapon?" Her eyes flickered blue. "The heart of Vathra, a machine buried beneath this planet. It feeds on energy, on life. It chose me as its voice, but I was not strong enough. When I tried to shut it down, it broke me." Ryan stared at her in disbelief. "You're saying that thing paralyzed you?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, and worse, and it bonded to my mind. That is why they hunt me. If I die, the connection will die with me. The heart will wake again, and destroy everything." Ryan rubbed his forehead. "So your family's trying to kill you? To save themselves?" "No," she replied. "They are trying to control the heart. They think they can rule the stars with its power." Before Ryan could respond, the sound of boots echoed through the forest. Alien voices spoke in sharp tones. The hunters were here. He looked around quickly. There was a broken structure nearby, an ancient ruin made of dark stone and overgrown vines. Ryan dragged the sled toward it, ducking behind a fallen pillar. He peeked out. 3 alien soldiers moved through the fog, their armor glowing faint blue, their helmets scanning with red lights. Lyra's breathing grew uneven. "They are of my bloodline. I can feel their minds. If they sense mine, they will find us, Ryan thought fast. He grabbed a small metal shard from his belt, a fragment of his ship's reactor. Can you still use your powers? Not much, she answered weakly. Can you make this glow? Her eyes closed. The shard lit up faintly, vibrating in his hand. Ryan threw it far to the left. It clattered against the rocks and rolled down a slope. Instantly, the hunters turned and fired. Blue plasma streaked through the air, burning the trees. Ryan didn't wait. He grabbed the sled rope and ran the other way, deeper into the ruins. The air filled with smoke and the smell of metal. One of the aliens shouted, "She is near. The cursed one lives." Ryan ducked behind a wall, his chest pounding. He could hear the hiss of their weapons charging again. Lyra opened her eyes, weak but calm. "You should leave me, human." "They will not stop." He shook his head. "You said if you die, the heart wakes, right? Then you're not dying today." She stared at him for a long moment, her glowing eyes softening. "You're kind. You always fight even when hope is gone." Ryan smiled faintly. "Hope's the only thing keeping me alive." A loud explosion cut through the ruins. Dust filled the air as one of the walls collapsed. Ryan shielded Lyra with his body as debris fell around them. When the dust cleared, he looked up and froze. Standing on a rock above them was a tall alien figure, wearing armor brighter than the rest. Her face was sharp and beautiful, but her eyes burned with cold fire. She carried a long spear that hummed with blue energy. Lyra's breath caught. "No, it cannot be." Ryan looked at her. "Who is that?" "My sister," she whispered. "Sora of Vathra. She has come to finish what our mother began." Sora raised her spear, pointing it directly at them. "Lyra of Vathra," she called out in a clear, cold voice. "By order of the royal blood, your life ends tonight." Ryan stepped in front of Lyra, his pulse racing. "Well," he said under his breath, "guess we're out of places to hide." The forest fell silent again. The hunt was over. The battle was about to begin. The forest burned. Blue flames climbed the trees as the night echoed with thunder and screams. The hunt was over. Now it was war. Ryan stood between Lyra and her sister, his chest heaving, his eyes locked on the alien warrior who glowed like a living weapon. Sora of Vathra looked almost otherworldly, tall, silver-skinned like her sister, but with armor made of living metal that pulsed with light. Her eyes shone like sharp blades, cold and full of hate. "You protect her, human?" Sora's voice cut through the air, calm and venomous. "You do not understand what you stand before." Ryan raised his broken plasma pistol. "Maybe not," he said, "but I understand murder when I see it." Sora smiled faintly. "You think you can stop me? You are flesh and weakness. We are gods of energy." Behind Ryan, Lyra's voice trembled inside his head. "Ryan, don't fight her. You cannot win." He didn't move. "I'm not fighting her," he said softly. "I'm buying us time." Sora's eyes narrowed. "Time for what?" Before she could finish, the ground beneath them rumbled. The ancient ruins began to glow. Strange blue symbols lit up across the stone floor, forming rings of light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Sora's confident smile faded. "No!" she hissed. "Not here." Lyra's eyes opened wider, glowing bright with panic. "The heart of Vathra," she whispered. "It's waking." The ground cracked open, releasing a surge of white mist and heat. From the chasm below, a sound like 1,000 voices echoed, a hum of power deep and alive. Ryan stumbled backward as the floor split apart. "What the hell is that thing?" Lyra's voice filled his mind again. "It is the heart. The weapon I told you about. It feels me near. It knows I am alive." Sora stepped closer, her spear raised. "You dared to come near it again?" she shouted. "You would doom us all." Lyra's expression hardened. "You doomed us when you betrayed me." Blue lightning arced between the sisters as their eyes met. Ryan felt the energy crawling over his skin, humming through his veins. Sora leapt forward. Her spear swung fast, too fast, and hit Ryan's chest. The blast sent him flying against the stone wall. His weapon shattered. He gasped, coughing, pain spreading through his ribs. Lyra screamed, not with her mouth, but in his mind. The sound cut through his head like thunder. "Ryan!" Sora raised her spear again, ready to strike Lyra where she lay. But the heart pulsed once, twice, and a shockwave exploded outward. The energy threw Sora back, slamming her into the wall. Her armor sparked, and she cursed in her alien tongue. Ryan crawled toward Lyra, his body shaking. We have to shut it down." "I can't," Lyra whispered. "Not alone. My body is weak. I need a link. Someone to share the charge. Ryan looked at her glowing hands.
You mean?
Connect our minds again? Yes, but this time it will hurt. You may not survive it, Ryan gave a faint grin. You said that last time. I'm still here. She looked into his eyes, and human eyes full of defiance, and nodded. Then hold on to me. Ryan placed his hands over hers. Instantly, his vision blurred. The world around them dissolved into light and sound. He saw everything, the stars, the galaxies, the rise and fall of civilizations. Lyra's memories flooded his mind, her first flight, her training, her sister's betrayal, and the day she touched the heart and lost her body. He felt her pain, her loneliness, her strength. And she felt his fear, his courage, his unshaken will to save even a stranger. Their thoughts merged. The heart of Vathra reacted, its blue light turning golden. The ground shook violently as ancient machines woke beneath them. Sora rose again, her face twisted in rage. You fool, she screamed. You think you can control it? It will consume you both. Ryan's voice was calm but fierce. Then we'll burn together before we let it fall into your hands. He and Lyra pressed their hands onto the glowing ground. Energy roared upward, blasting through the ruins like a storm. The heart's core appeared, a sphere of living light spinning with impossible speed. Lyra's voice trembled. Ryan, it's connected to me. If I die, the heart dies. He shook his head. Not dying an option. Sora charged toward them, screaming. Her spear struck the ground, sending a shockwave of pure energy. The force threw Ryan aside. The connection broke. Lyra cried out in pain, the heart's light flickering wildly. Ryan tried to reach her, crawling through the heat and dust. But the floor beneath her cracked open, revealing a deep shaft of light. She was sliding toward it. Lyra, he shouted. She looked at him, tears glowing in her eyes. You showed me mercy, human. Now run! The ground exploded with light. Ryan grabbed her hand, again, refusing to let go. And in that moment, the heart of Vathra pulsed once more. The light swallowed them both. Silence followed. The ruins went still. Only the faint hum of the heart remained, lower, weaker but alive, somewhere deep below. Two hearts, one human, one alien, were now bound to its pulse. The war for the heart had just begun. The light faded. When Ryan opened his eyes, the ruins were gone. He was lying on a smooth black floor that reflected his face like water. Above him, endless golden light shimmered, flowing like liquid stars. The air hummed with energy, yet it felt cold. Too cold to be real. Lyra floated nearby, her body glowing faintly, her silver hair drifting in the air as if underwater. She was breathing again, but her face was pale. Where are we? Ryan whispered, sitting up slowly. Inside the heart? Lyra's voice echoed in his mind, softer than before. It has accepted us, but not fully. It tests our will. Ryan looked around. The place felt alive. The floor pulsed like veins under skin, and every sound echoed back like a whisper. You mean this thing is alive? Yes, she answered. It is the oldest mind in my world, created by our ancestors to hold the power of the stars, but it does not serve anyone. It chooses who is worthy. Ryan stood, wobbling slightly. And it chose you once before, didn't it? She looked down. I tried to use it to stop the wars. My people wanted to use it for control. When I refused, they turned against me. Before Ryan could respond, the golden light flickered. The floor rippled and a deep voice filled the space. Not male or female, but both, vibrating in his bones. The one who failed returns. Lyra's expression changed to fear. It remembers me. You broke your vow, the voice thundered. You were meant to seal me, not awaken me. I had no choice. She shouted. They forced my hand. Ryan stepped closer to her. Who's talking? The heart. Lyra nodded weakly. It is the core spirit, the guardian intelligence. It can read our souls. The golden light around them darkened, turning red. The air grew heavy. And now you bring a human, the voice said. A creature of war. Another destroyer. Ryan clenched his fists. Hey, I didn't come here to destroy anything. I saved her life. The heart's voice rumbled, amused and cruel. You saved her. To doom yourself. The ground split open, revealing a long bridge stretching over a glowing abyss. On the far end stood a figure. Sora Ryan's eyes widened. No, she's alive. Lyra's voice broke with pain. No, this isn't her. It's an echo. A copy the heart created from my memories. The illusion of Sora smiled, but her eyes burned with hatred. Lyra, you always needed me to protect you. Even now you hide behind humans. Ryan raised his weapon, though it was half melted from the last blast. You're not real. The copy tilted her head. Does that make me less dangerous? The illusion moved fast, her spear slicing through the air. Ryan dodged, the blade scraping his shoulder. Pain shot through him like lightning. Lyra tried to rise, but her legs failed her. She reached out telepathically, blue light swirling from her hands. The heart's energy bent around Ryan, forming a weak shield. Ryan, you must not fight her with anger, she warned. The heart feeds on emotion. If you hate, it grows stronger. He gritted his teeth. Then what am I supposed to fight with? With trust, she whispered. With faith in me. Ryan glanced at her, then back at the illusion. He lowered his weapon slightly. The false Sora smirked. You hesitate. You're weak, human. No, Ryan said quietly. I just don't kill ghosts. He stepped forward. The shield around him glowed brighter. Each step echoed like thunder. The illusion lunged again, but her spear dissolved into smoke before touching him. The voice of the heart returned. Louder. Deeper. He does not seek power. He seeks connection. Lyra gasped softly. It's accepting you. The floor beneath them began to rise, carrying them upward through the golden mist. The false Sora screamed and vanished. As they reached a platform of light, Lyra turned to Ryan. Her face was calm but sad. You are inside the heart's trust. It will listen to you now. But there is still one truth you must face. Beyond what truth? He asked. Her eyes glowed brighter, and suddenly the air rippled. A new voice echoed cold and sharp. Lyra, it said. It's time to come home. Ryan froze. It wasn't the heart this time. It was real. Through the golden light, a figure stepped out of a rift. The real Sora of Vathra, wearing battle armor, alive and furious. Behind her, alien soldiers poured through the portal, weapons raised. Ryan's heart pounded. They found us, even inside this thing? Sora's eyes locked on Lyra. You betrayed your people once. Now you betray your world again. Lyra's voice was steady. No, sister. This time I fight for it, Sora smirked. Then die with your human. She raised her spear. The heart pulsed, and the whole world of light began to shake. Ryan stepped beside Lyra. You said it listens to us, right? She nodded weakly. Yes, but only if we are united. Ryan took her hand, their fingers locking together. Then let's make it listen. The heart roared. A blinding wave of light bursting from beneath them. The betrayal had come full circle. But now, it was time to rewrite it. The light was no longer golden. It had turned white, so bright that it burned through every shadow. Ryan felt his feet leave the ground as he and Lyra floated above a swirling storm of energy. The heart of Vathra was fully awake now, its pulse shaking the air, the ruins, even the space between worlds. Around them, time seemed to break. Pieces of the forest, the mountains, even the stars above were flickering like shattered glass. The heart was tearing reality open. Lyra's hair flowed like liquid silver in the storm. Her voice trembled inside Ryan's head. It's losing control. My sister's attack damaged the balance. If we don't stop it now, this world will collapse. Ryan tightened his grip on her hand. Then tell me what to do. You can't just fight it, she said. The heart isn't a weapon you can shut off. It's alive. It reacts to will. You must connect with it completely. Not just mind, but soul. Ryan looked down. Below them, the real Sora stood on the platform of light. Her armor cracked from the energy blast, but her eyes burning with rage. She shouted something in her alien tongue and thrust her spear into the ground. The heart screamed, a sound that wasn't heard but felt. The energy surged, pulling Ryan and Lyra higher. Ryan's body felt like it was breaking apart. He could feel the heart's voice whispering through him. Thousands of thoughts, millions of memories. It was like touching the mind of a god. I can't... Hold on, he gasped. Lyra reached out, placing her palm over his chest. You can, she whispered. But you have to trust me completely. No fear. No walls. He met her glowing blue eyes. For a second, the chaos around them disappeared. He saw her not as an alien, not as some lost warrior, but as someone who had been betrayed, abandoned, and still chose to hope. He nodded. I trust you. The moment those words left his mouth, the heart reacted. Light exploded between them. Their bodies glowed, and a surge of energy linked them together, mind to mind, soul to soul. Ryan's thoughts weren't his own anymore. He saw through Lyra's eyes, her childhood on the crystal world of Vathra, her dreams of peace, her sister's laughter before it all turned to hate. He felt her pain when she was paralyzed, her loneliness in the dark, and the moment she thought dying was mercy. And Lyra, she saw him too. His world, his broken ship, the fear he hid behind jokes, the memories of Earth's oceans, and the faces of the people he lost. Their two hearts beat as one. The heart of Vathra responded. Its blinding storm slowed. The chaos began to shape itself, forming rivers of light flowing around them like wings. Sora shouted below, her voice full of fury. "You cannot control it. You'll destroy yourselves." But for the first time, Lyra smiled. "No, sister. I am not controlling it. I'm listening." The heart spoke again, its voice softer now. Two minds become one. Two wills aligned. Harmony restores power. The energy storm condensed into a single beam of light rising toward the sky. The cracks in space began to close. The ruins beneath them reformed, solid and still. Ryan's vision blurred, and his body was fading into light. "Lyra, what's happening?" "The heart is stabilizing through us," she said calmly. "It's using our connection to heal, but it will take my life force to finish it." "No," he said instantly, gripping her tighter. "We'll find another way." Her voice was gentle, like wind through water. "Ryan, you already gave me another way. You gave me hope. That's more than I ever had." Below them, Sora fell to her knees, her spear melting in her hands. The golden walls around her cracked, releasing waves of light that washed away her armor. She looked up at her sister. For the first time, her face showed sorrow. "Lyra," she whispered, voice trembling. "I never wanted it to end like this." Lyra looked down at her, her expression full of sadness. "Then don't let it. Remember this moment. Remember mercy." She turned back to Ryan, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. "When the heart releases us, it will choose one to live. You know who it will be." Ryan shook his head. "I'm not leaving you." But she only smiled, a quiet, peaceful smile that broke his heart. "You already did enough. Let me do the rest." The light around them reached its peak, a storm of gold and blue, swirling faster and faster until it filled everything. Ryan shouted her name, reaching out, but her hand slipped away as she drifted upward into the core of the heart. Her body dissolved into pure energy. A glowing form, radiant and beautiful. The heart pulsed one final time, and then, silence. Ryan fell through the fading light, landing on the cold ground outside the ruins. The forest was quiet again. The air was clean. Above him, the storm clouds had vanished. He sat up slowly, looking toward the sky. The heart's glow was gone, but in its place, a single star shone brighter than all the rest. He whispered her name. "Lyra." For a moment, he thought he heard her voice on the wind. "I am still here." Inside the light. Ryan closed his eyes, tears falling silently. He had come to this world a broken man, and left it bound to something far greater than he could ever understand. The world was quiet again. The heart of Vathra had gone still, its golden storm now only a faint shimmer across the morning sky. The once broken ruins lay silent beneath the soft light of dawn. The forest that had burned through the night was now calm, its blackened trees covered in drifting ash that glowed faint blue, like snow made of memory. Ryan sat near the edge of the river where it all began. His body ached, his uniform was torn, and his heart felt heavier than the mountains, but his eyes were fixed on one thing, the light rising slowly from the horizon. It wasn't the sun. It was her. A single thread of blue light floated upward from the ruins, twisting gently through the air before vanishing among the stars. "Lyra," he whispered. The word lingered on his tongue like a prayer. The last thing he remembered before waking by the river was the light, a storm of gold and blue swallowing everything, her hand slipping away, and her voice in his mind saying, "Remember mercy." He had tried to hold on to her, to fight the heart's will, but when the light faded, she was gone, not destroyed, not dead, just gone. Now the river that once tried to take her life flowed quietly beside him. The same river that had given her back to him now carried her spirit into the stars. Ryan reached into his pocket and pulled out the small fragment of crystal he'd found near the ruins. It pulsed softly in his palm, faint, warm, alive. He didn't know what it was, but he knew who it belonged to. "Still watching, aren't you?" he said quietly. "You'd probably tell me to stop talking to rocks." A soft breeze passed through the trees, almost like laughter. He smiled weakly. "Yeah, thought so." For a long time, he just sat there, a lone human on a foreign world that wasn't supposed to know kindness. But somehow, because of her, it did. In the distance, smoke rose from the remains of alien ships. The war was not over. The Vathrian hunters had retreated after the Heart's eruption, but Ryan knew they'd be back. And without Lyra, this planet would be defenseless. He clenched his fist around the glowing crystal. "You didn't save this world just to have it burn again," he said softly. "I won't let that happen." He stood slowly, his body sore but his purpose clear. The ground beneath him rumbled, faintly, like the planet was waking from a long sleep. From the forest, lights began to rise, hundreds of small floating orbs drifting upward like fireflies. They surrounded him, spinning slowly. Then he heard it. A voice, not in his ears but in his heart. "Ryan Cole." He froze. "Lyra." The lights pulsed brighter. "The Heart lives through me now. I am its voice, its memory. I am not gone." Ryan's eyes widened. You're still here?" "Not as before," she said gently. "My body has ended, but my essence remains. The Heart restored this world, and now I guide it from within." He felt warmth spread through his chest, and calm, strong, familiar. "You sound different, peaceful," she replied. For the first time in my life, he swallowed hard. "I wish I could have saved you." "You did," she whispered. "You saved more than me. You saved who I was meant to be." The light around him grew brighter, swirling like a slow dance. "But the war is not over," she continued. "My sister lives. The Vathrian fleets gather. They will come for the Heart again. You must leave this place, Ryan. Tell your people the truth and that humanity and Vathra share the same soul." He shook his head. "I'm not leaving you." Her voice grew softer. "You won't. Wherever you go, I will see through the light." The orbs around him began to fade one by one, rising toward the stars until only one remained, the crystal in his hand, now shining with a steady blue flame. He looked up at the sky where two moons still hung side by side. "If they come again," he said quietly, "I'll be ready." "You won't fight alone," her voice whispered through the wind. The crystal pulsed once, and then silence. Ryan closed his eyes and let the morning light wash over him. The world felt alive again, breathing, healing. He turned toward the distant mountains where the ruins still glowed faintly beneath the earth. Somewhere deep below, the heart of Vathra was still beating. Slower, gentler, but alive. He smiled. "Guess I'm part of the story now, huh?" The wind answered with a soft whisper, carrying her voice across the river. "Always." As the first sunlight broke through the clouds, Ryan walked toward the horizon, one man against the coming storm, carrying the last light of an alien woman who had changed not just a world, but the meaning of mercy itself. And far above, among the stars, a blue light flickered once more, like a promise that love, even between worlds, never truly ends.